What is up, guys? Christian Miller here with the Miller's Edge, and we've got big news. Two key pieces that we just acquired from the transfer portal after this past weekend. We had a big recruiting weekend with several guys on campus, landed two big commitments. So we're here to talk about it. But first off, if you haven't already, make sure you like this video. That helps us out. And if you enjoy the content, we'd appreciate you subscribe to our channel. That always helps us out as well. And we'd love to have you as a part of our team here at the Miller's Edge. With that being said, let's dive into it. So, first and foremost, we've got former Washington offensive lineman, freshman All-American Parker Brailsford. He committed to Alabama after his visit this weekend. A guy that played under Coach DeBoer with Washington last season. Again, like I said, he was a freshman All-American on an offensive line unit that was awarded the Joe Moore Award that goes to the greatest offensive line in college football. So definitely got to be excited about that. I took it a step further, and I went and watched some film on Parker. Wanted to see kind of how he plays, see how he fits in to this offense and how he will be used. Now, obviously, we all know we needed a center, right? We didn't have a center, and we obviously struggled with the center position last year, specifically the snap. So anybody probably would be an upgrade at this point, if we're being honest. But diving into him and his tape, man, very solid player. He is a little undersized, coming in at 6'2", 275. Not worried about the height, but more so the weight. I know he held his own. He did some great things against some good defenses this past season. However, I think he could benefit from being a little bit heavier. Sometimes in pass pro, you would see him kind of get knocked back a little bit, probably because he is on a little bit on the lighter side. However, that's an easy fix. You know, pack on a few pounds, get him up to about 290 at least, and I think he's solid, which I'm sure he's probably on. If he's not already around that, he probably will be soon. You know, that might have been an old weight probably from when he first got on campus. But nonetheless, a very athletic guy, very agile guy, which is required in this offense. If you look at Washington's offense and the way, Coach Grubb likes to scheme things, there's a lot of movement with the offensive line. These guys are required to pull, centers, guards, tackles. They're always on some type of movement. And it helps him that he's very athletic, very, very agile, right? So that's a plus. But even though he's a little lighter for an offensive lineman, man, he's very snappy, right? He's got good explosion, great leverage as a guy that's a little bit shorter, right? He plays with great pad level, but he's strong and he's physical, right? He's snappy, right? He's very scrappy, and I like that. You like to see that out of an offensive lineman. So does a good job, it looks like, on the tape, communicating, getting guys set up. So again, I mean, he was the head unit on an offensive line that was awarded the Joe Moore Award, again, the top offensive line in college football. So very exciting to get that. Again, a key piece for this football team, not really having a center. I'm sure you got some young guys that were going to be competing for the job, but this is a guy with experience, but he's also young. He has like 3 years of eligibility, I think, left. So I thought that was huge to fill that void. You pair him up with two established guards, right? Two of the best guards in the country, in my opinion. You got Tyler Booker, right? All SEC, all American type player, big physical player, right? Very prideful, great leader. You pair him up also with the right guard, Jaden Roberts, physical specimen, guys that are maulers, get good movement. I like that. I think we have a very strong foundation with our interior offensive line with the addition of Parker Brailsford. Now we just got to figure out the tackle positions, right? You lose J.C. Latham to the NFL draft, so your right tackle spot's open. Your left tackle spot is now vacant with Caden Proctor, a promising young player who just transferred back home to Iowa. So you got to figure out those tackle positions, which you got some players on the roster that are going to compete for those jobs. Just not too much experience other than Elijah Pritchett. He probably will compete for the left tackle position. If I had to guess, a guy with experience, but definitely we'll have to keep improving. But again, that's what we got this offseason for, and I think he'll take those strides. So I guess really just got the right tackle position to kind of figure out, unless you're not going to go with Pritchett. But with that being said, Parker Brailsford is a phenomenal pickup. Again, the former Washington offensive lineman just committed to the Crimson Tide over the weekend. The other commit that we're going to talk about is former Washington wide receiver and kick returner Jeremy Bernard, a guy, I just said it, serves dual purposes, right? Wide receiver and kick returner. The reason that's big to me is that you lost Kool-Aid McKinstry, who was a returner last season, a guy that was a very good returner, had his struggles last year. But guess what? His backup was Caleb Downs, and unfortunately, that guy also is no longer with the program after transferring to Ohio State. With that being said, we didn't have a returner. Now we've got a guy that has been a kick returner last year at Washington. He accounted for 738 all-purpose yards. 419 of those yards were receiving with 2 touchdowns. So not lighting up the stat sheet as a receiver. However, you got to remember this guy was behind some NFL talent at wide receiver. Those guys they were stacked at the wide receiver position. He's 6'1", 205 pounds, nice solid build. Seen him make some nice catches when I watched him on film. Seems to have really good game speed. So again, a guy with experience that you can throw in there. He's going to be in a room that has guys like Kobe Prentice, right, Kendrick Law, Jalen Hale, just to name a few. And so I really like the addition of Jeremy Bernard here. So I think he's going to help that receiver room out, and he's going to be paired with his former coach as well, Coach Shep. So look, some really good stuff brewing again, and that makes 3 total commits now for Coach DeBoer and this new staff. The first one was Austin Mack, former Washington quarterback, a guy that's physical specimen, great size. He was their guy, right? I mean, and we know that because they basically showed Julian Sam the door when they brought this guy in. So definitely some good pieces that Coach DeBoer and his staff have picked up. The 3 guys so far are all from the transfer portal via Washington. And so that's definitely exciting. Definitely finally filling some of those areas of need, right? With the center position, the returner position, and a guy with experience at receiver. The quarterback definitely could be a big-time football player, but he's more of a guy that, our quarterback room is fine for this year, without a doubt. But he's a guy that definitely can compete. And who knows, man? They obviously see something in this guy, so we'll have to stay tuned on his development. But that's the update with the 2 commits so far. You also had Ryan Williams on campus, wide receiver, a phenomenal, explosive playmaker, guy that I think is a must-have. He reclassified. He was committed to the Crimson Tide, then decommitted with all the changes with the coaching staff. But I know we're doing a really good job of really trying to get him back. And I think that would be huge if we can land a guy like him. So we're going to keep our eyes on that, make sure we keep you guys updated as things continue to develop. But let me know your thoughts. Are you happy with these pickups? What are your thoughts, man? I'd love to hear it down in the comments section below. I know I'm pleased with them because, we finally are filling some of those areas of need. Next, we got the defense. Now, you guys know we lost a lot of guys in the secondary, right? Specifically, some corners. We definitely could use some depth there, even the safety position. Defensive line and linebacker, we've got starters. You got your 2 starting linebackers coming back, Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson. However, in the defensive line, you got Tim Keenan, Tim Smith, Jaheim Otis, all those guys. They're back as well, but we need some depth, specifically at the linebacker position and definitely at the corner and safety spot. Jabbar Muhammad is another guy who was here on a visit. We'll see if we land him. He would be a guy that can come in and play. It would address a position of need at a cornerback position, but we'll have to see. I'm hearing that, Texas and some other places are definitely competing when it comes to the NIL aspect of things. So we'll see if we can land him. Hopefully we can, but if not, I definitely think, once the portal opens back up in spring, there will be some more guys being added to this roster. But if you look at the roster, we definitely lost some key pieces, whether it was the transfer portal or the NFL draft, but there's still some really good talent on this roster, and I think we will pick up some more. But again, that's my update for you guys. Wanted to break these new commits down and what that means for Alabama, how they fit in. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, please like this video. That helps us out, and subscribe. Join the team. We'd love to have you right here with us on the Miller's Edge. Again, I'm Christian Miller with the Miller's Edge, and we'll see you guys next time.